Unresolved Problem segment tonight, as we discuss with Congresswoman Lowy, there is a divide in America on how to deal with terrorists who want to kill us. We all know about the Guantanamo Bay controversy, surveillance, rendition, and there is no question that Great Britain gives its police a lot more room to contain terrorism than we do here. Joining us now from Orlando, Florida, Attorney Larry Walters, a civil libertarian. Okay, in Britain it is reasonable suspicion, and here it is probable cause. A huge gap between it. Reasonable suspicion is basically Scotland Yard going to a judge and saying, look, Abdul's hanging around with Mohammed. We know Mohammed's bad. Therefore, we want to go into Abdul's house and see what we can see. Judge says, fine. Here you do that. Judge laughs, never going to get the warrant to go into Abdul's house. It doesn't seem to me, and I've lived there, that Britain is a fascist society, that the people there are oppressed in any way, shape, or form by their government. Why shouldn't we have reasonable suspicion rather than probable cause in terror investigations, sir?
Britain is a different society. We have a Bill of Rights, something that we fought the American Revolution against the UK to be able to obtain, and we're the leaders in the world in terms of civil liberties. And when you're talking about giving up basic constitutional rights to get a little bit of security, I wouldn't be in favor of that. You know, it always reminds me of Thomas Jefferson's quote, he who is willing to give up a little bit of freedom for a little bit of security is soon going to have little of either.
Yeah,
and that's true in this case.
I don't know if Thomas Jefferson would feel the same way today, but my basic question is this. You can argue theory and constitutionality all day long, but as you know, Constitution can be changed, laws can be changed, and sometimes they have to be. As you know, Abraham Lincoln, the greatest president, in my opinion, in the country, suspended habeas corpus so that the United States could stay together in the Civil War.
Which was roundly criticized as a mistake.
And you can criticize him all day long. He's the greatest president, in my opinion, arguably, in this country. Now, we have Britain. We have Britain, which is a civilized nation, whose people are free, having reasonable suspicion, just in terror investigations. Yet you, in a theoretical world, because you're right in theory, are unwilling to even consider changing probable cause to reasonable suspicion. And I believe that puts us all in jeopardy.
Here's the problem. When you give up these rights for a little bit of security,
I'm not giving up anything. I'm not a terrorist.
You never get them back. It happened with the war on drugs. We have very little search and seizure protection, yet we haven't won or even made a dent in the war on drugs.
Nobody can come in my house and seize anything except on the estate tax, okay? Nobody can seize anything, and they can't come in, and I'm not a terrorist, and I'm not a drug dealer. Look, the civil libertarians, including you, live in a world of theory. Don't you get it? That if we are hit again, say this terror thing did happen, and the only reason it was foiled was because the NSA picked up telephone calls, our intelligence sources tell us, between people here in the United States and in Britain. And then the Pakistani intelligence service picked up a guy, and they got information, and they blended the two, and they popped the 24. Now, you guys are all over the NSA surveilling. You don't want this kind of an intrusion. Yet, are you willing to give up your life for a theoretical, sir?
Bill, whatever happened to give me liberty or give me death?
I'm free. I'm free. I don't want to die.
Hang on a second. Hang on. We've ended up now where we're in a society where, you know, give me protection at all costs and I'll surrender my constitutional rights.
What cost?
The most significant cost that you can pay, and that is forfeiture of constitutional rights, forfeiture of freedoms. We need to be the leader in the world in constitutional freedoms, and we need to lead by example.
I can't get you out of the theoretical world. I can't. There's nothing I can do to get you into the real world. Nothing.
Well, I guess it just depends on whether we want to live in a nice, safe police state or whether we want to live in a free society, which comes at some danger.
Is England a police state? Is London a police state? Yes or no?
If London keeps going in this direction, they very easily could become one.
They could be.
Absolutely.
But they aren't.
We got to nip that in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. I think they nipped this killer terror plot in the bud by using the NSA surveilling phone calls, Counselor, that you wouldn't let them do.
Would you be in favor of suspending the Fourth Amendment to be able to fight the war on terrorism?
I would be in favor, very specifically, of giving our authorities reasonable suspicion to get warrants to investigate terror suspects.
What if they told you that wasn't enough? What if they needed to go in on a hunch
Then I would say that is what you have. I am not asking. I don't want intrusion on civil liberties. But here, Britain is a free country, and their people are not persecuted, and they're safer than we are with this technique. Counselor, always appreciate your point of view.
At a great cost. Thank you.